One more nice, big, deep, intentional breath for me. Perfect. Hi, my name is Heather Twedell. Most of the players know me as Dr. T, and I am the team psychologist for the Dallas Cowboys. Basically, my role is to ensure that these individuals who have to go out there and perform at a high pace, that we are taking care of their quality of life off the field. We know that when you are better taking care of these players and their relationships, making sure they're sleeping, functioning, decision-making, coping, that it helps them play better. And so my job is to make sure that that quality stays in place.
Dr. T worked for the team, but she don't work for the team, if that makes sense. You know, she's there for us. There's been so many times I just went to Dr. T's office and just sat down and just chopped it up with her, and that's a safe space.
She's a person that ultimately has came in here and provided a safe place for a lot of us working here, and primarily on the football side.
I know that mental health is important for professional athletes because we're all human beings at the end of the day. And again, our mental health really comes from how our brain uses experiences really as a compass moving forward to help us navigate life. I think there is a misconception that just because they're a professional athlete that life is easy, fame is great, and in reality, it can be really demanding on their whole system and on their relationships. You know, when you put a logo on a uniform and a number on a back, it can dehumanize someone, and I think people forget that there are still human beings behind that uniform. So whichever uniform I'm working with, it just comes down to helping human beings navigate those high expectations.
It's tough, you know, like as a person, you have to be aware of like the people around you. And, you know, everybody go through things, you know, and as an athlete, it's so much harder because you got social media, you know, you can't worry about what other people say, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to talk to somebody, you know, because if you sit there and you just take everything in, you're going to explode, you know, it's going to get to a point where you explode.
Well, what is in your control right now? Start with personal.
What I'm doing, like taking care of my kids, spending time with my family. Now they've been in the out season. That's about it.
Yeah. So when you talk about your kiddo like that, or when you talk about like what's in your control, notice anything in your body? No?
No.
Does that feel like something that you feel like you've got a good handle on, like that relationship?
Yeah.
With kiddo, that feels good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You feel like you're being intentional with that?
Yes.
Okay. So let's just start with, because obviously you and I will kind of check into where the head goes. I want us to start always with getting good at calming the system down first, because that'll slow the brain down a little bit. And then we can use some of those techniques we talked about as far as the mindset. Okay? So let's start with those deep belly breaths. And we take a nice deep breath in, feeling the stomach and the ribs open up like that.
I can really see the weight slowly being lifted off of those guys' shoulders after starting to deal with Dr. T, because I think one of the best things that Dr. T has done, and primarily with our players, is be present. She comes to the practice fields and just showing that, hey, she's here for our guys, not just in the moments of when they need, you know, help, but also in the moments when they don't need help. And I think that has benefited a lot to allow those guys in particular, you know, I know some of my guys, you know, open up to her because they know that she cares about them, not just in the bad time, but also in the good times.
I know having Dr. T there for me, man, it's vital for me because, like I say, my mind constantly races all the time, and you have to be aware, like you have to talk to somebody because everybody needs somebody. So like you get somebody, like just take the help.
I think women in sports is like that yin and yang. Dr. T's role is very special because she brings that feminine side to things, the creative kind of outside of the box approach.
Take one nice deep breath in through your nose for me. Feel that confidence. Feel maybe the pressures that come with performance. But then with that nice long exhale, tapping into that trust. Anything the you right now wants to tell the you that's on that field? Any words of encouragement or advice for him?
Just trust your skills. You got everything you need, nothing that you don't.
You have everything you need. So as we head into performance and practices and games, I want you to take what you just said and pair it with some of these grounding techniques before you step on that field and channel all of that, because you are so right. You have everything. You and I have talked about some of the things that might roadblock it, but you're working so hard to remove those roadblocks and connect back to skill, confidence, belief, right?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks for taking us there.
Yes. She just brings a swagger, an attitude, that really just makes you want to believe.
She takes so much stress off of us. She always, at the end of all her slides, she always put grace. She always say, give yourself grace.
One of the great components of working with this job is being able to impact human beings outside of the football world. So WIN is one of those great entities that I get to support. So working with the women in the organization and just the unique demands that, hit their plates as well. So being able to do workshops, Q&As, panels, I love writing. And so I've had the opportunity to partake in their newsletter every month. And that's been really great. I think anytime you have an organization that has little tidbits of reminders that at the end of the day, like, we're all human beings, just to have some grace, but also some skills on how they can navigate the stress that we may not know what they're handling or dealing with. And being able to do that through these workshops and the newsletter has really been great.
Grace is a skill set. You're not gonna wake up tomorrow with it unless you practice it. So I encourage you all to think about, if you were to give yourself a little more grace today, whether it's with food, nutrition, or just how you talk to yourself or how you are in your relationships, be intentional with what that would look like. Because if we aren't practicing it here, there's a chance we're not giving it to people who deserve it. It's gotta start right here with us.
Maybe back in the day, there was a question if women can hold their own in a predominantly male environment. And I think anytime you open up the opportunity for females to show grit and capacity to handle high performance, high stress, and hang in there with the males, I think that just allows a culture of togetherness and more of a cohesive approach to a team effort. And so being a female that gets to partake in that team effort and honestly being treated like a team member from these male coaches, male players, male staff, again, I think it just sends the message that we're all sharing the same mission. We're all going after that big win. We're all going after that feeling of how do we create the most dynamic team possible? And so as a female, I just think it's great to feel accepted into that.